Hey everyone, this is Todd with Pro 365 Adventures, and recently I had someone ask me to do an overview of my bike. I'm kind of surprised, I've never thought to do that, so my apologies, but it was a great idea. And so I'm out on one of my normal routes that's around town here where I live in the Central Valley of California. So I thought, why not take a couple moments and stop and let's do this. So let's go take a look. Okay, it's kind of windy out here, so I hope you can hear me. But this bike is a 2020 Santa Cruz Mega Tower Carbon C. So I got this in mid 2020 and absolutely love it. Wanted to get back into mountain biking. I actually started out in mountain biking, but over the last many years have just been on my road bike and really wanted to get back into this, so I thought, let's do it. Now let's talk about what I've done, the way I got it. When I spec'd it out, I did get it with the Reserve, see if you can see it, the Reserve 30 carbon fiber rims. And I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to spend the money to do that, but I'm really glad that I did in retrospect. Not only do they have a lifetime warranty, so if I do anything to these, Santa Cruz is going to replace them, but they've endured a lot of abuse so far. Taken them, they've been in Sedona through all kinds of very rocky climbs, technical riding here in the Central Valley, up in the hills, all the places we've gone. They've taken some big hits, and they're comfortable. I really like them. When I first got the bike, I think that was one of the first things that I did was I changed the handlebars. So I put these Renthal fat bar lights on, and I also put the Renthal stem on, if you can see it just past my Garmin there. And the reason I did that is because I've actually had a handlebar break on me right here going off a jump landing, and that makes for a really bad crash that you don't want to have anything to do with. I didn't want to repeat that. That's kind of why I didn't go with the carbon. I know if it breaks, it's probably going to break, but with the carbon there is no bending. It's going to snap. It's not going to break. So for me, that's why I didn't go with the carbon. The other thing that I did was I put this Ergen SM Pro seat on there. I've ridden Ergen before and really like it. And most of the seats, the saddles that manufacturers put on are junk. So I wanted to get rid of that right away. And then let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I swapped out all the tires. So I'm kind of partial to Maxxis. So I went with a Minion DHF on the front. And being that this is a Mega Tower, it's got a lot of suspension travel. So I went with a 2.6 in the front. And on the back, I went with the Minion DH2, and it's a 29.230. So I've had really good success with these tires. I like them a lot, and that's why I wanted to keep them. If I recall, the Santa Cruz came spec'd out with Maxxis tires already. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Maybe the Aggressor, or I can't recall, but I wanted these, so, and I had these, so I put them on. Shortly after I had the bike, I started having problems with the seat post. Santa Cruz spec'd it out with a RockShox reverb, and at first I really liked that post, but within probably 5 months it started getting, you can YouTube it or whatever, it started sagging. So as you start riding, it slowly starts working its way down. It wouldn't stay up, and that becomes really annoying to have to deal with that. They have rebuild kits, but apparently it's a chronic problem with the reverb seat post. So I ponied up and got the Fox factory seat post here with the Kashima coating, and this thing has been incredible. It works 100% of the time. I haven't had any trouble with it. Really like it. I can't speak highly enough of it. Now, if I would have had the Fox Performance, the black post, I'm sure it probably is no different. They had this one in stock, and I was switching over to the Fox factory on my suspension components, and so that's why I went that route. Now, shortly thereafter, I upgraded the shock to the Fox Float X2, and before that, I also had a RockShox. I can't remember which one it is. I'd have to look it up. But I mean, it was okay. This one, I noticed an immediate improvement when they put it on. I rode with it for several months, probably 6 months before I got the Fox 38. This one just really made the ride a lot smoother, especially the small bump compliance is where I noticed it the most. Really like this. This one was worth the money. Now, at the same time, I actually ordered these at the same time, the Fox Float and then the Fox Factory 38. And it took forever to get this Fox Factory 38. I kid you not, it took like a year to get it. I think there were some issues with the ordering. It was pretty frustrating, but got it, was super excited. I think I got this in the fall of last year, around September or October. So yeah, it took a long time to get it. I may be exaggerating with a year, but it was probably every bit of 9 months. Very long time. Now, my review of the Fox 38 is it's a great fork. The stanchions are a lot thicker. I had the Fox 36 on there before, the Performance series, and that was a great fork. I really had no reason to change it. And after having the Fox 38 now since last September or October, I can't really say that I noticed any difference between this and the Fox 36. I can't, I just really can't. I don't think that it was probably a worthwhile upgrade. Matter of fact, I know that it wasn't, but I don't know. I was switching everything over to Fox Factory, so that's why I went that direction. Then let me see what else a really good one. So I think I had the DT Swiss 370 hub, and it's an extremely low engagement hub. I mean, it's crap. It's like 20 points of engagement, and I was going to Sedona in January of 2021, and I knew there was going to be a lot of technical climbing, so I had that switched out to this i9 Hydra hub. It's got 690 points of engagement, and I kid you not, this has been one of the coolest upgrades that I've done on my bike. Not only does it sound amazing, but for technical climbing, it is just fantastic. It's almost infinite engagement. It engages everywhere in the revolution of your pedaling. So if you're in a technical climb and you get hung up and you briefly pause, I mean, it engages immediately. So that's been really nice, and I can't give that one enough kudos. It was the best upgrade I've done on my bike. Now, I got some Christmas money December of last year, and around January of this year, 2022, I upgraded to the SRAM Eagle AXS electric derailleur and little paddle shifter right here. And this has been, let's talk about the pros. So the pros are, I've had it on there for over 6 months now, 5.5 months, and I got on to do this ride and it was dead. That was the first time. I just never even think about it, to be honest with you. So I did buy a spare battery, so I popped the spare battery on, which I charged at the same time I bought this. I bought them, at the same time. So it's been sitting in my pack for 5 months on that initial charge, and I put the spare in, and it's working just great. So incredibly long battery life, and I suppose that is going to depend on how much you ride, of course, but last year I put about 1,000 miles on this bike. So it's getting its fair share of riding, but the pros would be the derailleur does not go out of alignment or adjustment. with a cable driven derailleur, it just seems like I would have to have it adjusted frequently. This one, it just doesn't, unless you knock it really hard, but even at that, it goes right back into place. So it would probably take a significant hit. So that is one of the real benefits of it. It just always stays in optimum working order. The second benefit would be you can shift under load, which we all do mountain biking, but this handles it effortlessly. It can just go up across the stack without any difficulty. I think that is a tremendous pro. The cons are it's just stupid expensive, and there's really no reason that you need it. So those are two pretty big cons. Now that I've had it, I like it. I don't necessarily know that I would get it again, although I do really like it. But on my road bike, it was more of a game changer for me, which is ironic because I'm shifting under load a lot more often on my mountain bike. But yeah, I'm still kind of divided on that. I haven't done anything with the cranks. I recently had to replace the chain, and I went with the SRAM AXS copper chain, which has been great. You need to make sure that when you need a new chain, keep a really close eye on it, because if your chain wears out and you wear the teeth down on your cassette, this cassette's about a $400 cassette. And so you don't want to ruin your cassette because you didn't replace your chain. I think mine's a little bit on the edge because with all the supply chain problems, I needed a new chain for probably about 3 months and couldn't get one. And so I think I did a little bit more damage to my cassette than I would have liked to. And I have had a couple of issues with it go shifting. And I think that's just because some of those cassette teeth are worn down a little bit more. But I haven't replaced anything on the cranks. That seems like more of an expendable part to me. So if I bend it or break it or whatever, I will just get a new one when I need. The timber bell is awesome. I like that you can turn it off, and I have it off most of the time when I come up on walkers. I can turn it on, and it has a really good, you can see several of my videos with it on there, but it's got just the right amount of shrill in the tone that really gets people's attention, and then for the most part they really get out of the way. I have noticed with some older people, when they're out walking and stuff, sometimes they can't hear it. Maybe they just can't hear those frequencies. But for the vast majority of people, they get out of the way, and they seem thankful that they can hear you coming way in advance. Okay, that was it for the quick overview on my bike. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them in the comments, and thanks for watching. Take care.